Hello everybody, Reggie Time here, and today we are playing some 25 pot limit Omaha 6 card on GG. I play this on the app, the club that I'm a member of. I really enjoy the game, but it's maintenance day, so I need to occupy myself in some other way. I've got around 40 minutes to play now, before I need to go out and do a little bit of work. And yeah, just wanted to get some practice in because on the app, normally, you can be in 2 games at the most. It's a relatively slow game. You don't get much volume in, much practice. So we're doing this. We're going to have too many tables coming up now because I just joined every single waitlist. And yeah, I just fancied getting a bit of volume in, practicing my strategy, seeing how well it works in tighter games compared to how it works on the app. My strategy on the app is just limp range pre-flop. Almost never 3-bet, never open raise, almost never 3-bet. I'm firmly convinced that this game is not a pre-flop game, it's a post-flop game, and the key to success, especially in games with like loose, inexperienced players, is to try and keep the pot as small as possible until at least the flop comes down, and then look to use your equity to find your aggression either by flopping strong hands with strong redraws or just flopping strong draws, etc. Am I giving up a little bit of edge pre-flop? Maybe. I'm not sure about that because I think there's so little fold equity pre-flop that pre-flop raising, there will be benefits to it, of course, but let me play these 2 hands out first. This player's just checked here. We're just going to start bluffing our entire range, given they've just checked the 3-7 deuce flop. I think people just play quite badly. I think they see the limps and they then just have to go on the attack because as poker players, they're conditioned to see limps as weakness. And then they will go on the attack with hands that don't really want to be attacking, especially from out of position. If we limp, cut off some buttons, etc., and then they go too mad, raising from blinds and then putting themselves in bad spots out of position in bloated pots versus a range of hands that's maybe stronger than the range they're isolating. I don't know. That's my working thesis at the moment. We're not going to call this check raise on the paired board. We do have the nut flush draw, but not going to do that. I might struggle a little bit here for tabling. The cards are quite small. I'm quite fucking old. So yeah, that's my working thesis as a strategy. What I like about this game is no fucker's got a clue how to play it, really. Certainly not at like low stakes. We're all kind of just flying by the seat of our pants. There's loads of different strategies, which makes it a lot of fun. It's totally not a solved game and will be a long time until it's solved, and it'll be even longer until the solves start reaching the stakes I play. So I think this game, I'm not going to say it's the future of poker because it probably isn't, but I think it's a good game for players to get into who are capable of thinking for themselves and working out strategies that work well in a particular game without being told what to do by coaches, without being told what to do by computers and all that. We're sitting, we're playing the game, and we're all working on our own strategies. And I think that's a nice environment. We've got the nuts here, and we've been raised. No reason to slow play in this fucking game. No reason to slow play in this game, so we're just going to pop another raise in. He folds. Okay, you'll show me that. What do you want me to do about it? Do you want a blue Peter badge, mate? Do you want a gold star? Limp T with the king. Like the games I play on the app have nothing like these sort of like VPIP percentages. There's very few players who VPIP less than 60%, I would imagine. So these games are going to play very differently to what I'm used to. So I'm interested if the strategy I use on the app which I think is as good a strategy as any, is works in games with tighter players. We've rivered a full house here. I think we just have the nuts always. Yeah, so really, the thing I like about this game the most is that it's just really hard with my strategy for people to deny equity to your pre-flop. Because you just, once you limp, you're just seeing 3 unless it goes ISO, 3-bet, etc. And as I've said, I think people have a real big problem with isolating too wide, and then getting themselves into all kinds of post-flop pickles. So I'm looking to just basically just play really tiny pots until I see a flop that I like, and then I'm just hoping to be able to blow up the pot post flop and find enough players who have the discipline to fold versus what's going to be a pretty value heavy or equity heavy range post flop. It's incredibly basic, but I think it's okay. We flop trips here. Versus this player, we can't fold flop. I'm not loving our situation. I think when he slows down and checks the turn, I quite like that. Don't think there's anything about our hand that wants to reopen the betting there. And he blocks river. I think we have to call versus block. I think we lose a lot here, but he's blocked. I just think we lose to better ace-x a lot. But we're going to call anyway. And he just flopped a full house and played it like that, which is fine, I guess. So my strategy will involve lots of my, if we were to have a graph, lots of a graph like trending downwards, like relatively just bleeding, then hopefully the spikes will overcome the bleeding long term. Because I say we're not looking to play like very bloated pots pre-flop with marginal holdings. So the equities just run so close in this game pre-flop. I genuinely don't see the value of raising pre. I just do not see the value of it. We just don't get any fold equity. So we're just building pots with marginal equity holdings and then just hoping the dealer picks us post-flop. So why not just focus on not building the pot with marginal equity holdings, and then when the dealer does pick you pre-flop, post-flop, then just try and build a pot from there, versus players who don't have the discipline to get away from hands of no business really putting an awful lot more money in with. Here, for example, we've limped the aces, we have the suit, we have a pair of eights too. Going to start trying to build the pot while we think we've got reasonable equity. Up here, we've flopped a wrap after limping the button. We've been check raised here, so we are very confident that we're behind, but we have a lot of equity. So we're going to continue with a call. The deuce might slow him down. It does. We're going to just try and get the showdown here with our aces. We river the top full house, which is nice. On the river here, we bet twice, he's called twice. And we've been led into here on the river, which is nice. We only lose to quads. I think we're just giving up here with this combo on this particular run out. This player's deep in the tank. I think we're getting folds here when someone goes this far in the tank. I think they like try to convince themselves that they might beat something, but deep down knowing that they don't. Yeah, we do get the fold. Oh, I wanted to show the ace and the 7, but never mind. Maybe it doesn't let you show cards in. What I don't like about this, it just doesn't show you your cards to your actions on you, which is mildly irritating. Maybe there's something I can do within the client to stop that. I don't know. I just logged on this morning to play. Really easy defending the big blind here with the triple suited, decent rundown holding. The 6 is a bit of a dangler, but whatever. Very easy check on this flop. Probably just check calling. Turning the 3rd nuts. Betting and hoping not to get raised. Double suited aces here with the jack 10 could 3-bet, but my strategy is just not to have too much aggression. This guy's checked back the flop and raised the turn. We know one of his cards. We know he has the ace of clubs. Just does he have another club with it? I'm not willing to call this and then call a pot size bet with when it's just so easy for someone to have the nuts. I'm just going to make the fold and not worry too much about it. Check back flop, like snap raise turn. It's a line that isn't bluffed very often in other poker formats. There's no reason to think it's going to be bluffed a lot in this format either. What are we doing here? Yeah, we've got nothing much going on. We're just going to fold. And I expect my VPIP, if I was to play like a relatively long session of this, to come out at around 30-ish% in this game. I've done a little bit of investigation as to what VPIP you want for this kind of game. In a 6-max game, somewhere around 30 to 35% is about right, according to the limited amount of research that I've done. So I'd expect to come out somewhere around a 5-handed game, maybe slightly more than 30%, but not by a lot. Because the research I've done, a lot of that 35% will involve like raising some more marginal hands from the button in an attempt to steal, and that isn't part of my MO. So maybe I'll come out slightly tighter than what my researchers told me to aim for. What have we got going on here? We've got not a lot. We have a top pair, no backdoors to speak of. We've actually got top and bottom pair. But we're still just going to fold it. Just what chance do we have of having a strong hand by the river? Not very. And I think that's one of the things that should guide you on your early street decisions. Not that just what is my hand now, what is the chance I have a very strong hand by the river? And I think there, that holding, just not very much chance we have a strong hand by the river. And therefore, let's not invest too much early in the hand to then fold later. It's another part of my thinking that goes on the early streets. Not just like what is my hand now, and what is the potential for my hand to be in some way nutted on the later streets. And the lower the chance, the lower I feel my chances of having a nutted hand by the river, the less enthused I'm going to be about putting money in on the earlier streets. Again, it's very, very nitty. I actually think playing a very, very nitty and conservative style in these games against players who just won't have that level of discipline is actually as good a strategy as any in what is a pretty new game to most people. And who are likely to overplay in lots of spots. Here we have like the nut wrap. We can win on any 9, king, 10, or ace. We have a very easy call, and if we improve to a straight, we're just going to donk the river. We do not improve to a straight, so we have a very easy check fold now. This hand's just got nothing whatsoever going for it. Pocket kings with a suit, that's it. And so I've always, like anyone who's been watching my videos for years now, and it's been over 10 years, will be very familiar with my overall poker philosophy, which is mostly tight is right. Just play tight, wait for people to make mistakes. It's not the most exciting advice in history, but it's as good as any that you can apply easily, if you will. If you want to really study poker to deep depths, you will absolutely annihilate me. But I think my strategies against weaker players and, what I consider to be bad regs who study a little bit, then misapply things a lot. My strategies help me survive for a long time. I don't expect that to change anytime soon in the games I play because people just make lots of mistakes. My mistakes are usually by playing too tight and slightly overfolding. As far as leaks go, they're not the worst leaks to have in the games I play. So yeah, could you watch this video and absolutely pick me apart and find spots where I've folded, where continuing would have been worth, a fraction of a big blind? Of course you could. Absolutely, of course you could. If you told me about it, would I give a fuck? Not particularly. Because yeah, I am making, the key to poker is playing a game where you make less mistakes than your opponents, but also like the magnitude of the mistakes you make too. So if I'm making like more really fucking tiny mistakes than my opponents by say a small amount, I'm losing out on EV there. But if then, because that strategy I'm applying pre-flop allows me to be in spots where my opponents make more mistakes than me post-flop, and the mistakes they make are bigger, and then recapturing that lost EV against the population. There's no way to prove that other than long-term results. And my long-term results in every game I play are good, so I'm happy enough. Here we've limped relatively speculatively. There's a lack of connection in this hand, and sadly we're blocking our own out, but we're going to limp in it. We're going to C3 and proceed from there. Probably not going to be able to do much on this board. We just haven't flopped very well at all. We've now got a double gut shot. We're more than double gut shot. We've got like 6, 7, 8 for with the 5-9. We've got the jack for the nuts. I think we probably have to call this bet. I think we just got too many good straight outs. And we've missed them all. Up here, what do we have? We have something of a straight draw. We have the backdoor flush draw. We have the pair of eights and the aces. So we'll be trying to see one more card. Do we now bluff this combo on the river? What chance is there that we get a set or 2 pairs to fold here? Lots going on here. We're going to have a bluff here, but I don't think it's going to work too often. Up here, we're going to not chase our nut flush on a paired board. I think if that player had like a really strong hand, like a set, he would continue barreling that river. So we're just trying to make 2 pairs fold, I guess. Yeah, this is too many tables. I'm going to make more mistakes than usual for tabling, for certain, but it's just like decent enough practice for me. I think if I wasn't making a video, I would just be 2 tabling, but I think 2 tabling would just be too slow for a video, too boring. So we are 4 tabling, but later on today, when I get back home, I'm probably going to have a 2 tabling session of this until the maintenance is finished in the app, and then I'll probably switch over to trying to get some games going in there. I think like what I see in the games I played, and I played this game a few years ago, back when I was like back in COVID times, is that lots of players go through like incredibly. Oh, I want to fall down and see my fucking cards yet. Go through incredibly wild swings in this game, and I think that's largely due to the style of poker they choose to play. Given my style and my approach, I wouldn't expect to see enormous swings every session because I'm just not looking to play big pots. Like when I watch games in the app, literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of big blinds change hands, on an hourly basis, and I'm just there limp, 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 limp. And I see players sometimes having some remarkable heaters, and then at other times just getting absolutely fucking drilled. These aces here are pretty fucking bad. It's been limp, raise, re-ISO. This is just a bad hand. I mean, we could just try and repot, turn our hand face up, but post flop we're just not going to do very well. So I'm just fucking folding them right now. I think we're going to have like just not have a nice time with them post flop. Of course, we would have made the full house. I mean, if people are re-isolating those hands, then maybe not. But I'm just not looking to play massive confrontations. Just not looking to do it. I'm going to call once here and try and use some blockers later in the hand to bluff with. Like if a diamond comes, for example, it's going to be difficult now. We have turned a set, though. I'm really not happy with the situation. And I think we maybe just bluff this hand on the river unless he makes it pot. Yeah, I think we just bluff this hand now. I think we're probably losing to Jack 10 quite often. We have the ace of club. We have the ace of diamonds blocker. Yeah, I think we just bluff this hand. Just try and get a straight to fold. Which we do, probably. I think we've definitely got a better hand to fold. Oh, no, we had the set, didn't we? I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe he still folds Jack 10 there. Maybe. Forgot we had the set as showdown value. Just forgot we had the set. I was so obsessed with, well, I've got the ace of diamonds. Let's bluff. I forgot we actually had showdown value with the set. Don't 4-table, Reg. You're fucking 50, man. You're 50, playing a game you're very inexperienced in. You're 4-tabling while making a video. How can you expect to be positive EV when you're doing this? Look at this fucking cash dollar, so boosting right up to £10 straight away on the leaderboards. Not that I'm going to chase leaderboards after this today. I think we're going to call a double suited kings here on the button. The rest of the hand's a bit shit, but the double suited kings is like okay to try and see 3 with. Pretty miserable flop. Lay into, easy fold. Down here we've flopped top and bottom pair. Without a spade, I'm not loving it, but we'll call 1. Flop to set, down here with a flush draw. Do I want to reopen the betting here against this aggressive looking player and loose? I don't think so. Just take a hand to showdown. This player now pots the turn. He's telling me he's got a straight. We do have a flush draw and we have a set, so we're not going anywhere. We now have quads. And we're just going to lead the river because it's just going to check through way too often. Well, he's got a straight here. It's just checking through way too often. So we're just going to bet. And hopefully he bluff catches with a straight, or even better, he has a full house that he can value raise. He did have a full house and he did not value raise it. King, queen, jack, 10, 3 dangler, first position. So I'm definitely playing way tighter than theory. And my working hypothesis is that doesn't fucking matter because players are so loose and indisciplined. They won't care that I'm playing too tight and I will still get action when I want it. That is my working hypothesis. We'll see if that actually bears fruit long term. I suspect in the club it definitely will. Whether it will in tighter games versus more thinking players on GG, who knows? But definitely against like bad and loose players, there's 0% chance this strategy hurts me. 0%. Maybe it does in. I mean, I don't think for a second these games are going to be hard to beat, but maybe it hurts me slightly more in this. But yeah, my strategy, quite frankly, is play tighter than theory and do not expect to be exploited for that when we want to value bet. And maybe it gives us, if we do get slightly exploited for it when we value bet, maybe it gives our bluffs that little bit more fold equity than anybody else has in the games, because one can't be true without the other. If it's hurting us with our value bets, it actually means I get more fold equity on my semi bluffs. So, yeah, I'm not particularly concerned about having a very basic and very highly exploitable strategy. I'm just not fucking bothered because I still think I'm a better overall poker player and understand poker better than a lot of people. And I'm just choosing to ignore some of the more marginal parts of the theory in order to reduce variance at a game that I'm inexperienced in, while still hopefully preserving my ability to get value. I've got about 10 more minutes to play because I'll need to go and start the car up because there's a frost overnight and I do not like getting in cold cars and driving them. So I shall be going out, starting the car, putting the heaters on full blast and sitting around in the house for 10 minutes while the heater does its thing. It's Queen 10 from the cut-off. I think we can get away with limping this hand. It's blocking itself a bit, which I'm not a huge fan of, but this player, it's a good chance he's going to raise, because I think he's exactly the type of player you, in my opinion, you want to be playing with. He's just like being too aggressive pre-flop with too many hands, and they're the ones who are going to make that the big blunders post-flop. Not especially keen to reopen with this hand. We have like what looks like a good hand, top two pair. How likely is that to be good by the river? Unlikely. Our flush draw isn't too strong. If this guy pots it, there's a good chance I'll just fold. If he bets smaller, I'll probably continue with the call. When everyone comes along, I think our flush draw is stone dead. So it's just like, do we want to continue for the value of the backdoor flush draw and our boat out? So I think probably call one and then get the fuck out. Yeah, we won't be continuing on this turn if more money goes in. There's just not very good chance our hand's good. With backdoor flush draw, we'll call one here. We've now turned a straight, but it's not the nut straight, so we'll be calling another one. We river the nuts, and we're going to just bet pretty big and hope he's got a bluff catcher he can call us with. This guy just bombs the turn. We're out. We were in very rough shape there. Thought folding the flop might be prudent, but never mind. We didn't do it. We didn't find that fold. We're going to value bet the turn here with a pretty marginal hand. So 5 more minutes and we're done. We'll close all the tables. I know exactly how much I started with because I deposited $200. So we'll be able to check results at the end for what they're worth over a very small number of hands. I think people's loss rates and the blinds in this game will be fucking enormous because I suspect most players defend way too much for their skill level. So we've got to set here. We have every kind of draw as well. So we're going to start with a bet. I like our equity at this point. I think there's a good chance we'll end up with a very strong hand by the river. We wouldn't have, but don't like the 3 and the 2 here. I don't like the fact we're blacking our hand a little bit. We're going to try and see a flop and flop some equity. And we do. We flop a gut shot and a second nut flush draw. We had the turned nut flush draw, so we're going to start bluffing into what seems to be a capped range. And we river a flush on a paired board. I think we block here. And we lose to the nut flush. Fair enough. Leave table next blind. Oh shit, I worked that for all tables, didn't I? Leave all tables on next blind. Not at all in love with this complete with this piece of trash, but half a blind or slightly more than half a blind, whatever, it's fine. I guess, I don't know. I'm saying it's fine with the confidence of a man who knows what he's talking about. In this case, just 3-bet with ace jack 10 9 3 3. Can't be a 3-bet. This guy's cold call with king 10 6 4 deuce deuce. You're telling me that just playing like a nit in these games isn't going to print money long term? Of course it is, because people just play really, really fucking badly. We need to have $63 at these two tables in order to have shown a small profit. Don't think we'll quite have that. But we certainly haven't lost big. We'll have made pennies in rate back. Quite literally, oh no, it's up here, isn't it? 110. So you've got, do we have $31 at this table? Oh, we've made a tiny, tiny, tiny profit, assuming we don't do anything stupid in the next few hands. What's going on down here? This can't be a good stack off. This cannot be a good stack off, I don't think. Just like the naked over pair. No redraw. Oh no, he had the, ignore me, he flopped the wheel. But he flopped the wheel and no redraw. To me, it's not a hand you want to be putting the money in with. And again, he's got it in. Okay, well, I don't fucking know. It's too hard to follow. It takes too fucking long. But for me, you don't want to be getting all the money in there with just the fucking wheel, no redraw with 2 cards to come. I think that's probably pretty bad. Yeah, so just patience, patience, patience. That is my entire strategy. Ooh, don't like what that's just done. Come on, stop it. Don't like it. That is my entire strategy, and it will be a winning strategy without question. Yeah, we've made $1.76. Well, we did nothing. But as someone who's just playing for a hobby, breaking even, and enjoying myself, is good enough. And I won't break even long term. I will beat this game long term, and I think that is maybe in the GG games. I'm not a favourite to have a big win rate. I think in the app club I am a favourite to have a good win rate because, with all the love in the world to the people in the app club, a lot of them won't be as good as the people in this game. So if we can break even or better in this game, then I can't imagine how much damage we can do on the app with what is a very, very primitive strategy, as we've discussed. Anyway, I'm out of here. I know this video will struggle to get more than about 70 views, but I don't care. I make content that I enjoy making. I've never been someone who's been trying to build a channel. I just want to build a community of people who enjoy listening to me talk about poker. Take care, everybody, and bye-bye for now.